called it all that other nonsense. So we're only going to stick to the passages you quote. You said that you use your Quran as a criterion. So where in your Quran does it say that John 5:30 is Jesus speaking?
Based on your question doesn't mean we should give you direct answer based on the way you are questioning. You say where in the Quran does it say John 5:30? That is nonsensical.
Oh, okay. So look, you know what, Shoaib? I agree with that. Do you want to know why it's nonsensical? Because the claim was nonsensical. When asked who is speaking here, and he says, well, we believe Jesus is speaking here because the Quran is the criterion. Okay, show me where the Quran tells you that this is Jesus speaking. You can't do it because it's nonsensical.
Okay, every help us out.
Let me land.
Every help us out. Who is speaking there?
Let me land, please. Let me land. So I'm going only with Muhammad's criteria of hermeneutics, of exegesis. I'm going with Muhammad. So he said, get rid of all the other verses, only focus on the passages that we quoted. So he quoted only John 5:30, which he said. So tell me again, who is the one speaking who says, as I do nothing of my own, as I hear, I judge? Who is speaking?
God Logic, I think you are misunderstanding what I'm saying. Is that when I am taking a document and I'm reading the document in its entirety, whether it's theology or outside of theology, even if it's the American Constitution, I go put it back to my criterion, which is the Quran. So that means if the verses that are applying with the Quran, I will substitute that and I will accept from it. And the things that do not align with the Quran, I will overlook them. So the verse already clarifies, or the passage gives us some context that Jesus is speaking and what it's about. The things that are pertaining to what a Muslim is, the definition of a Muslim, I use that to show you that Jesus himself described what a Muslim is. And then you went to talk about how he committed shirk, and so therefore he cannot be a Muslim. But that's not the point that I'm addressing, because I don't believe that he said that.
I know. So I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to let David take the next point, because this is
the #1 food that kills testosterone.
Wait, you're not eating salad again?
Important.
Yeah, I basically, I want to let you finish and then he can respond. But I wanted to actually explain, because this is a common point. Other people in the Bible are called sons of God. So how do we reconcile that with our claim that Jesus? I just want to clarify what we view for Muhammad and Shoaib. If they want to reject it, they can reject it. But I want to at least clarify.
That clearly shows how contradictory.
I'm about to, guys.
No,
go ahead, Avery. Yeah, thank you. So this is important. What we just noticed is that now all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, we're allowed to use the context to find out who the person that's speaking. So we see from the context that Jesus is speaking. Thanks a lot. So now, according to Muhammad, we can use the context, but then use the Quran. Whatever disagrees with the Quran, falsehood, what agrees with it, that's good. But according to the context, who in the world is Jesus saying that he submits his will to? The Father. Who is he saying that he hears from? The Father, according to the context. So even John 5:30 proves that Jesus was not a Muslim based on the context. So you shouldn't quote it. Since the Quran is the criterion, John 5:30 should be out. That's my only point. You just helped me with that.
Yeah, but necessarily using the word father in John 5:30, as you keep saying, I even quoted John 20:17 to show you where he says, my father, your father, and my God, your God.
Keep reading.
What?
I keep reading. I already pointed it out. The same passage identifies Jesus as Lord and God.
No, it doesn't.
Guys, I think you guys missing the point.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, it does. I already
because
quoted
the Jesus you are claiming doesn't even know the day of judgment. How can he be God?
You're quoting John 20. In that passage,
No,
Jesus is
according to
called
your
my
Bible,
Lord and my God.
Jesus know the day of judgment.
No, you're going to a different passage. We're happy to deal with passages, but notice
I'm
every time.
asking you now.
No. Yeah,
I'm
but you're
asking
changing.
you.
You're
Can you answer that?
changing. No, I'm not, because you're changing the subject. If you want to if you want to deal with this topic and then go on, that's fine.
Because you interrupted.
No,
so now based on your interruption,
you keep quoting a verse when we just keep reading, and then you say don't keep reading.
You just said Jesus.
That's the definition of ripping things out of context. No, I said the passage you quoted calls Jesus my Lord and my God. You brought that passage up. It does.
It doesn't.
Not the one that we brought
You
up.
want me to read it again? You want me to read it again?
Talking about the one.
No,
All right, let's break it into. I do want to break it into.
No,
I do want to break it
let me
into.
finish.
Break it into maybe 60-minute intervals, or no,
60 minutes. Okay, I'll take the first one. I'll take the first one, James.
Let me finish first.
No, wait.
I'm making a point.
I just wanted to. Oh yeah, go ahead. You make a point.
Okay. So I was
he's going to make a point, and then I want to address the previous point.
John 20:17, Jesus said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father. So if we have to go with the context of this verse, check clearly the words he used. But go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. Now,
Not Islamic.
If you base on this logic of this verse, it clearly shows that Jesus is not claiming to be the begotten Son of God, which means they can also be the same God can be their father and their father. So it's just a figment of speech. It doesn't necessarily mean he is the Son of God, as you guys are claiming. But bear in mind, your book, the Gospels you are using, is the Gospels according to St. Luke, St. Matthew, St. John. These are people's opinion mixed up with the words of Jesus.
And you keep quoting them. All right, let me go and answer that. So if you kept reading in the same passage, if you keep reading in the same passage, that's where you have just verse 28, just a few verses after what you quoted. Thomas said to him, my Lord and my God. Jesus told them, because you have seen me, you have believed. He counts this as belief, calling him my Lord and my God. But I did want to address this, and it might be a few more seconds, but you guys can respond. There is this massive misunderstanding about Son of God. In the Bible, God is Father, and people can be sons of God in different senses. I'll go ahead and clarify them for you so you understand. Human beings in general are called children of God or offspring of God in a similar sense to what you guys were talking about earlier in the previous debate, where we all come from God. So human beings in general can be called children of God. That's Acts chapter 17. And so in that sense, we can all be, you guys are sons of God. Second, spirit beings are called sons of God. This is in Job 1. Angels are called sons of God. Third, the nation of Israel is called God's son because God produces the nation. So he's the father of the nation. Fourth, the reigning Davidic king, so King David and those who were king after him, his descendants, they were called sons of God because they were put on the throne by God and they were to rule under God's authority as God's representative. Shoaib, you quoted Matthew 5 earlier, and there you have that we can be called sons of God. Here it's people who sort of reflect God's nature will be called sons of God. It's a different sense. The idea is that we have a kind of family resemblance to God when we're serving God. So you have different senses in which God is a father, and you have different senses in which we are the sons of God. What we're pointing out is there is a son who is the son of God in a very special sense, similar to what Avery was pointing out earlier with the parable of the vineyard, where prophets come along, but then finally the son comes and he's the one who inherits everything and has authority over everything. And then we're pointing out that in John chapter 5, which you quoted, if you read, Jesus isn't saying, hey, I'm the son of God in just in the sense that other people are the sons of God. He's saying that he's the son that you can't honor you can't honor the father unless you honor the son by treating him the same way you treat the father. This is where Jesus claims that he is going to raise the dead at the resurrection. This is where he claims that he's the final judge. So he's claiming to be in a special sense. So you can't say, well, Jesus says he's the son of God, there's other sons of God, therefore it's all the same sense. It's not. The Bible's clear on this. This is not difficult.
Muhammad.
So yeah, when you're talking about like the definition of what a son of God is in the Bible, you can see that it's inconsistent. So there are different in your ways of interpretation what a son of God is. Now, look, if you want to refer to people as the children of God in that sense where there is no direct begetting, that's on your curriculum. This is what God has revealed to you. God has told us that it's better to not say these kind of things because it can lead to these inconsistencies that you're finding in your book, in a point where people are saying, well, no, he's actually the son of God, where that's the mother of God. So this is where these issues arise from people not understanding what maybe even let's hypothetically, because I don't know, neither do you. Hypothetically, let's say that Jesus did refer to his Lord as the Father. Maybe that was for him in the sense that he understood it, but he's not calling him his begotten dad. I don't believe that he said that, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for saying that. But you are causing transgression when you want to humanify, like make God as if he came into a human form. That's the only thing that the Quran is telling you. We're not. And when you're quoting Bible verses, we're quoting the verses that we understand that would attract you to what we're telling you as of the truth from God. We're not debating you to break your beat your dance. We're debating you so that we could free God and his messengers of the lies that are being said. Not by you, by the people who came before you, which you keep constantly repeating. So you guys can laugh as much as you want. But on the day of judgment, God's going to say, 5:30, didn't Jesus say that he's a submitter? Yes. Okay, end the story. You can't be like, oh, well, keep reading God, keep reading God. No, he's a submitter. He submitted his will to God. That's what your verses say. But you're debating which God did he submit to. That's not the point of the debate, because there's only one God. Your God and my God is one God.
Wow. So this is what we got here. He just said that it doesn't matter what God you're talking about or who you submit to. That is the point of the debate, because being a Muslim, well, I think that you and Shoaib kind of differ on here, because you say that you can have a different theology. You could be a Muslim but not a believer. You can have different theology. I don't know if Shoaib has that same thought, which is why he was like, what I was asking you based on that is nonsensical, because it was a nonsensical statement. But here's the point. When you look in the Bible and you see that God is a father in many different senses, this proves that it's not talking about Allah, which you guys are agreed is not a father in any sense. So please do not lose that point. So you just proved to us that the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God that Jesus says is his own father, the God that revealed himself to David and Moses and all of them, claims to be a father in some sense. And therefore, none of these prophets are talking about the same God that you're talking about. So according to your definition of Muslim, they're Muslims, but not believers. Jesus is a Muslim, but not a believer. But Shoaib said, nah, this Jesus in John 5 is not a Muslim. So I think that you guys handed this over to us on a silver platter, man.
Not really.